Our first guest tonight is Toni, an Academy Award-winning actress who you know from films like Chicago and Traffic. She stars in the series Prodigal Son, which airs Tuesday nights on Fox. Please welcome back to the show, Catherine Zeta-Jones. Hello, Catherine. How are you?
I'm good, Seth. It's so lovely to see you. It's been a while.
It has been a while. It's always a delight to see you. How have you and your family been holding up?
Pretty good. You know, I mean, it's been an unprecedented year for everybody. I must say, personally, it was lovely when we were in a vulnerable and unknowing time to have my peeps, my loved ones around. So I had my son home from college and my daughter home from school. She goes to school in Switzerland. So we were all back in our bubble. And supposedly, speaking to my son, we fared better than many families. It's like, Mom, you don't understand. People aren't talking to each other. They're like, no. So we played lots of games. My kids, I must say, kudos to them. I thought for sure, you know, they're all back, not just them, but all their other friends from high school, all live down our street, right? They were brought up right here all together, and I thought it was going to be party central, you know, all these kids coming back from college, congregating in the garage band garage, which is usually ours. I went, but they really got it. So we had a good time, and they're finishing up now and looking forward to hopefully a more kind of outdoorsy summer than we had last year.
Well, that is a credit to them. Did you feel a sympathy for the fact that, you know, they were young people who were, in your son's case, losing a year of in-person college?
Yeah, I lived vicariously through my kids. Let me tell you, I never went to college. I was schlepping the boards of London and up touring the pajama game at 15, jazz hands, jazz hands, jazz hands. You know, so there's a part of me that, I mean, I had an education, but I self-educated myself in my love for learning, you know, and so my kids who got all their brains from me, but don't tell Michael, you know, I mean, literally.
I just read a wonderful article. I didn't quite appreciate how young you started. You mentioned your early schlepping across the boards. So you knew at a very young age, as soon as you got a taste of it, that this was what you were going to do.
Yeah, they did this big publicity stunt in Britain looking for kids for Annie. And then subsequently, Mickey Dolenz's directorial Bugsy Malone on stage, right? So they came to Wales. They went down to where I live in Wales is the end of the track. You can't go further west unless you get the Cork ferry over to Ireland, you know. So they came down in a publicity stunt, basically. And so me, who had aspirations and was in dance school at the church hall down the street, you know, auditioned and I got it. And that was the spark that that got me into this amazing, I'm humbly grateful business where it's just taken me on this wild journey. But my kids who are in college, who I live vicariously through, you know, it's like they can't do what they're supposed to do. You know, it's like I used to say to my kids, you know, if they called me on a Saturday morning, if it was early, I go, why are you awake? Shouldn't you be like sleeping? What time did you get home last night? Oh, I was in bed by 10. Are you crazy? You worked so hard through the week and you're in bed? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, son? So anyway, they love learning and they're having a great time. But I kind of lost that part of my life. Not that I'm complaining, because I wouldn't be speaking to you, which I always love to do. I love to see them be teenagers and just, you know, and excited to see where their journey takes them. You know, they both love learning, but they both are very good at young actors. They've never done anything professional or anything like that, but it's, as actors, both my husband and I, Michael, you know, there's so many other professions that we'd like them to be in, but it's very, very clear that they've got that fire in their belly. And for me, it's like, party on, guys, because it's just taken me on a great journey. But I was never the son of Spartacus, like Michael was.
Sure,
right?
Yeah.
And that's a different kettle of fish. That's a different bear, babe, you know? And so even with that, those reservations, but clearly Michael had to prove himself maybe more than the average bear because his dad was Kirk Douglas. And so even with that deterrent, they're like, nah, still love it. You know.
Obviously they have two actors for parents, but maybe you are the only accomplished dancer. I'm not quite sure where Michael falls on the dancing scale, but I'm going to say it's safe to say you're the better of the two.
Do you ever see the video of when the going gets tough? Tough? That's as good as it gets, babe. It's like he can click in time to the beat. Every now and again he gets off course, but
Right.
he's a great actor. Michael always says that if you're when you're dancing, always look at me from the waist up. Because he can do that, but
Yes.
with the feet,
I believe, if my memory serves, you're talking about the video to Romancing the Stone, the
Yeah.
Billy Ocean music video.
Ocean, yeah. Michael's pop video. He's very proud of that. It's funny how actors. It's funny how actors like me. For me, it's like I sing and dance and all that stuff, but there's a part of one who wants me to be the female Bono. You know, to go out there in leather pants, my glasses on, and rock it at a stadium. You know, and so for Michael, it's always like, yeah, that's my when I did my music video.
The
And we're like,
best is while you were saying it, I thought, that sounds crazy what you're talking about. And then I realized, oh no, that's a video I saw 100,000 times.
yeah, oh yeah.
So let him know it stayed with me.